Hello, good to have you here again. My name is Ufoma, and I'll be taking you through cutting a little black dress. That's what you call normally an LBD. So every woman needs an LBD because you can pair it in a whole variety of ways. This video I'm going to be doing today is actually going to be a 3-part video. I'm going to take you today how to cut the little black dress. The next video, I'm going to teach you how to sew and embellish your little black dress. And the last video, I'm going to be taking you on how to actually style your little black dress, what you could wear with it, how you should wear it, and why it is a wardrobe essential. So you see, you don't want to miss any of my classes. So don't forget to subscribe. You need to click on the like button so you don't miss any of my videos. And feel free to share to your friends. So let's go. I'm excited. I hope you are. Let's get cutting. Okay, so now here is my fabric. It's actually placed on the table. I have 1.5 yards here, and it's a beautiful fabric. You can see with some shimmer on it. And before you start cutting, you need to study the pattern of your fabric. If I pull this way, you find the fabric doesn't stretch. If I pull this way, you can notice the stretch. So you need to fold along the line of your stretch. So now I'm going to fold my fabric into 4. It's an easy, breezy dress. You don't need the zip, you don't need buttons. You're going to just sew and wear comfortably, so you will not be scared that your button or your zip could snap. And that's why I like to go for stretch fabrics when I make my clothes. So I'm going to fold into 4 along the pattern that stretches. Okay, there you have it. So the dress I want to make is actually going to be not so long, maybe 40 inches or 42 inches because I'm quite tall. So before you start cutting your fabric, you want to determine how long you want your dress. So I'm going to get my tape now, and I need to measure my fabric to the length that I desire, and I'm going to cut that out. So I want a 42 inches long dress, but I'm going to cut 44 inches. And 44 inches because of sewing allowance. Okay, because you will need 1 inch at least seam allowance at the bottom. Then at the top you need half an inch. So you need to make sure that that is catered for. When you cut. So I'm going to cut 43.5 inches. I don't want it too long. I don't want it too short. Having done that, I just measured. Hope you can see that. Okay. So I'm going to cut off the excess. There you have it. So I'm going to put that aside. Now I'm going to go straight into taking my measurements to cut. So this is the folded side and this is open here. So you start measuring from the folded part. So to get your shoulder, you need to get, it's going to be a sleeveless dress, so it's going to be smaller than usual. If I was going to add sleeve for this dress, I would have made it 8.5. That's 17 inches for my shoulder, and make sure that at the end of the day after sewing it comes to 16 because I have quite a wide shoulder. But most persons 15 inches for their shoulder is fine, even with a sleeve. So because this is sleeveless, I'm going to be doing 15 inches. So I'm going to start with 8 inches. That's 15. Then I'm adding half for the seam allowance. That makes it 16. So 8 inches. Okay. Then from that point, the armhole, since it's a sleeveless dress, I'm just going to do 8.5 as opposed to 9 I would have done normally. Now from that point, to get my waistline, I'm going to do 16.5. Okay, so there we have our armhole. Under the armhole comes the bust. Then from the shoulder to the waist, we have 16.5. And now to get the hip, I'm going to measure from the waist 8 inches. Okay, if you are smaller than size 12, you could go for 7 inches from the waist. So now let's just take the measurement for the hip. My hip is 46. So 46 divided by 4 gives me 11.5. So that's the mark there. Now for the waist, my waist is 36 divided by 4 gives me a 9. Okay, there you also have the mark. Now to get the bust, let's take the armhole first, then we'll be able to get the bust. So from this point, I'll just draw out the armhole, as you can see. Okay, that's my armhole. Now under the bust, like about 1 inch under the armhole, I'll take my bust. Now my bust is 40 divided by 4 gives me a 10. Okay, so we have all our indicators, our marks. So let's get the neckline first. For this neckline, you can decide to play with whatever you want. A round neck, a U-neck, a 4-corner neck, but I'm doing a round neck. Okay, so I'm going to do like 6, that I want it to be quite deep. Or we could do 5.5. Then the width, I'm going to do 4 inches. Okay, so all you need to do, connect your points as I've done there. Now, remember that I folded this together, so I need to cut the back area. So you could make the mark there. So you cut the back first before you take off the front bodice. So I'm going to measure like 1.5 inches for the back neckline. So I'll still make that same pattern so that I take this off first, then I'll cut the front layer afterwards. Now we're going to take out 1 inch from the side to make sure that the sides of the dress, the shoulder, are quite relaxed. Now it depends on you. If you want your sleeveless to cover your armpit area, this is fine. But if you want it to come in more, you could just take your curve, okay, in a little, okay, and reduce the shoulder, and you get what you want. So now I'm going to connect the dots for our dress. It's going to be an A-line dress. So before I start connecting what we've marked together to get the shape of our dress, I want us to concentrate on the bottom a little. Since it's going to be an A-line dress, I need to make sure that the bottom is not too tight. Remember, my hip was 46. So when I come down here, I'm going to try to get the same 46 divided by 4, which is 11.5. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move it up a little. Okay, 11.5. So for an A-line, I'm going to add an extra 1 inch or 1.5. It depends on you, as well as you want it. We could do 1.5 for the purpose of the video. Okay, so that gives us more allowance at the bottom. So now let's go back to the bodies of the dress and connect our dots. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way upwards, or you could start from up here, okay, to work your way downwards. So I'm just going to connect that. Okay, now if you see what I did here, you'll notice that it's a bit too curvy, and I don't want that. So we're going to add a little to the waist to make sure our line is perfect, and that's what I did. Having done that, we'll continue to the bottom of the dress to get the silhouette that we want. So from the points we marked at the bottom, we're going to come up all up to meet the hip. So that's our line. If you know you can't do that without a ruler, then you need to get a ruler handy to be able to get your curve. So having done this, I'm going to cut. But before I cut, I need to make sure that I have my seam allowance. So I'll start adding the seam allowance, 1 inch for my seam allowance. So you could just do that all the way to the top. So it will guide your cutting, okay? Okay, so then let's go on first to cut our armhole. Then we'll come to the body of the dress. So I'm going to take off the armhole. We'll cut off the shoulder. The neckline, we'll use the shorter one first. By the time we separate the two, we will now take off the front bodies, then bring it lower. So now let's cut the bodies of our dress. We're going to cut along the line, the seam allowance line. So now we've done this. I'm going to take off the front bodies. So that I can bring down the neckline. Voila, so that was what is done. So that's our dress. Now we have the front bodies and the back. So now we're going to cut the facing. It depends on you. You could actually decide to do a facing, or you could use bias for the neck. So it depends on what you're comfortable with. So for me, I think we're going to do a facing, and that will make it neater. So get your pieces that are remaining. You just place there on the table. You cut the back and the front separately. So to be able to cut that, you fold together, just as we did when we're cutting. You make sure the edges, the folded parts, are together, and that you have enough at the bottom. Okay, at least 3 inches extra. So now I'm just going to cut along, okay, for the neckline. Now it depends on you. If you want your facing to cover the armhole, it's also a possibility. Then your fabric you need to place here needs to be long enough. So this is not long enough. I need to get a bigger one to show you how to do that. That way you don't need to do your facing for your neckline and the armhole differently. So now we've placed it on the fabric. This is the facing and this is the dress. So you make sure it's about 3 inches longer than the dress. You see it covers the armhole. So I'm just going to cut and make sure no one is smaller than the other. If not, you may have issues while sewing. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So it's been cut. So you do the same thing to the back. That's the facing for the front. Then we'll cut the back the same way. So you pick the So let's go over to start sewing.